Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another New Jersey Titans Coaches Show. Of course, I have with me the coach, Craig Doremus. Craig, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Coming off a solid weekend, taking 3 out of 4 points against the Northeast Generals. How did you like the performance from the guys?
I thought it was good. Like you said, it was important for us to get off the schneid there, and get back in the win column and at least feel good about our game. So obviously came up on the wrong end of a shootout on Friday night, and then obviously able to come out with 2 points on Saturday at home, which I think was big. Overall, really good weekend. Happy with a lot of things we did in up and down the ice surface. Obviously, would have loved to come out with 4, but 3 is a step in the right direction, and we're excited to now take that as some momentum heading into this upcoming weekend.
Well, speaking of those shootouts, right now you're 0-3 in those situations. Has there been any additional focus on that?
Yeah, we talked to the players and said, let's try to avoid these things because we're not doing too hot in the shootouts or overtime to this point of the year. No, I think we've tried to make light of the situation in terms of like, you get to the shootouts, a little bit of a skills competition. Obviously, you want to come up with 2 points, but it's I don't want to say it's luck, but I don't think it's indicative of the game or the team play at that point. For us, we were honest about like, hey, obviously we've struggled once we get past the 60-minute mark in terms of overtime and the shootout. So let's do our best to play a complete 60 and avoid that situation. No different than if you were struggling to kill penalties, you want to avoid taking penalties. So that's what we did. We didn't want to overemphasize it or look into it too much and put too much pressure on the guys. It's important that we start playing better for the overall 60 minutes rather than just worrying about the 5+ shootout afterwards. I think there's a lot of hockey to be had in the first 60 that can hopefully prevent that situation, and that's kind of our focus point right now moving forward.
Now, it seems to me there was also a renewed energy on the bench, putting more pucks on the net, just throwing rubber at the cage. Is that, again, something else that was discussed while you had that extra weekend off?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look traditionally at our teams in the past, we like to win the shot clock. We believe in it, not only just from the pure goal scoring standpoint, but also making the other team defend and getting their feet down ice and trying to do some stuff off that. So for us, no shot's a bad shot. We obviously, if we create a grade A chances and get stuff to the middle of the ice, we want to do so. But we want to get pucks to the net, pucks to goalies' feet, make them work, make them have to make multiple saves. And again, putting teams on the defense per se, I think, wears on them eventually and forces them into turnovers and disadvantaged situations in terms of stamina and maybe drawing some penalties on them. So definitely something we spoke about and was able to see how guys execute it, buy into it, and have a lot of fun doing it.
But one thing that still seems to be a little bit of a work in progress is you guys do such a good job in the zone, keeping up the pressure. But once it transitions the other way, there tends to be a couple of 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s. But now these odd man situations are being stopped a little bit more regularly. Again, is that something that as the season goes on will be like kind of like a work in progress?
Yeah, I think for us, a lot of the way we play offense, obviously, is with pace and tempo, and we believe in having 5 players involved in the attacks. So with that being said, you do give up opportunities here and there. But I think as the players mature and go through some more game reps and start to how to realize situations and count numbers in front of them and diagnose different situations on when to be active and when not to be, I think that'll get better and better as the year goes on, and with a maturation process and some growth in terms of their hockey IQ and evaluating the ice in front of them and behind them, that'll come. And for us, obviously, we want to see it come now, but we know it's going to be a process. And I thought last weekend was a step in the right direction.
Now, not to speak too negatively, but most of the losses this season have been close games. But on Saturday night, you guys were able to seal the deal just by you kept pushing for 60 minutes. There have been other games where you would go up 3-2, and then all of a sudden it would kind of fall to the wayside. But that Saturday night had to feel really good as, again, a 60-minute effort. And, again, just basically you step on the throats of the other team. And it was a good job of a new way of kind of doing things this year as compared to some previous games.
Yeah, correct. Something like, again, that we've addressed both during the practice week and even during the intermission on Saturday evening, that we were in that situation. We've been there quite so many times. And again, for our team, we've talked about, are we going to win hockey games or are we going to grow? We want to make sure we're doing one or the other every day. And we knew the next growing process for us had to be the ability to put teams away, never mind get the lead, but hold the lead. And then, like you said, kind of step on their throat and put them to bed a little bit. So obviously the empty net does that there at the end. But it was 2-2 game going into third. Good test for our guys. And my Northeast played really hard and really well throughout the weekend. They got great goaltending. And for us to be able to come out and win that third period going away was huge for us, and obviously gives a little pep in your step heading into Monday and a new week.
Now we look forward to the Maryland Black Bears this weekend. Back in mid-October, they came up to Middletown. 2 more close losses, 5-3 and 4-3 in a shootout. Give me a bit of a – they haven't played in a couple of weeks, so they're going to be pretty rested, pretty amped up, ready to go, just like you were last week. It's going to be an interesting battle for you guys to kind of weather that initial storm.
Yeah, for sure. Clint and his staff do a great job with their team and preparation for the game. So I'm sure those guys will be hungry and passionate and ready to go. And, we spoke to our players. We know that last year we finished in first place. So we prepared our players this year. We're going to get everyone's best shot, whether we deserve it or not right now. Everyone gets a little bit tuned up to come play us. And for those guys, I think that's what you saw the first week. And I'm sure we'll get more of it the same. They'll be prepared. Like you said, they've had little extra time here to prepare for the games, and we know they're going to come in ready to go, and we'll make sure we do the same on our part, in terms of our pre-scout and preparation for what they like to do tactically. And there's a lot of familiar faces on that ice surface. It's a veteran club that they have, returning a number of players from last year. So we'll make sure that our group is ready to go on Friday. And, I think we're looking forward to the challenge. Obviously got a lot of new faces in the lineup last week, so another week of practice with those guys, and we'll look forward to the challenge with the Black Bears this weekend.
Now in the midst of a 6-game homestand, always important to take those. You have to be like a 900 team at home to really be successful. Yep. Is that something that has been talked about a little bit this year in the last couple of weeks, knowing that the entire month of November, you guys are homebound and that's it?
Yeah, no, for sure. We've always made a point of emphasis to have the Middletown Sports Complex be a tough building for other teams to come into. Obviously, if you do your job, you want the playoffs to have to go through your building, and that's something I think we did a really good job of last year, and we want to carry over to this year. We want to make the building a tough place to play. And obviously early on in the season, like you mentioned, when Maryland came in, we didn't hold serve and do our job. So we got to make sure that we have an answer back here and some pushback for them as they come in this weekend, because we want to continue to climb in the standings as well. And like you said, it's so important to take advantage of those opportunities at home here, with or without a crowd. That doesn't matter. At least you're in your home environment, your own dressing room, and the comfortability in terms of the rink that you practice on every day. So definitely a point of emphasis right here going into Friday.
Well, that's happening this weekend. It'll be Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7 p.m., New Jersey Titans and the Maryland Black Bears, and you can catch the games live on Hockey TV. But fans, we can't wait to have you back in the building. I'm sure you feel the same way, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always joked at everyone, like, I know we don't get the greatest number of fans in Middletown, but the ones we do get are loyal and passionate, and they're so supportive of our players. And I think the relationships our players have built over the years with the community is something that I've always admired from afar, and getting to know a lot of those families. I know they're itching to come to the games. Many of them reach out to me separately, whether it's a phone call, an email, or through some form of social media. They're watching us. They want to support us. They want the boys to know that they're behind them and they have their backs. And obviously they're itching at the opportunity to get back in the door, and we're crossing our fingers that it's sooner rather than later. But right now we're just fortunate enough to be able to play, and we're going to do our best to represent folks in Middletown the best way, so that when they can get back in the building, they can be proud of the product we have.
Well, Craig, thanks so much for joining me once again, and best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Well, fans, make sure you tune in again this weekend. Again, Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7 p.m., all on Hockey TV. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of the New Jersey Titans Coaches Show, and we'll see you real soon.